Hi, this is Anthony from BullseyeTracker.com, and this is the second of a series of tutorial videos in which we walk folks through the tool. Today we'll be focusing on the captain and league officer experience. We'll go through updating team rosters, scoring a match, rescheduling a match, and calculating handicaps if your league uses them. Not all users who are a captain or an officer will have access to each of these capabilities, but I wanted to cover them all in one video so that everyone understands how each of them works. So we'll log in as Anthony. And the first thing I see, regardless of my role, is of course my home screen. Where things start changing is when I navigate towards my team. So let's start by going to my team, the New Hampshire Rifle Association. Down at the bottom, we'll see my roster. Next to each person's name, I have a pencil icon where I can update that shooter's details. Clicking it brings me to a page where I can update their first and last name, as well as their contact email address. I can also add shooters to my roster by clicking on this blue button at the bottom. Here, we'll either see a list of eligible shooters from previous seasons who are not on this year's roster already, or I can actually add shooters from scratch right from here. Including their email address will automatically send that person a welcome email if your league has specified that. I can also add folks to the roster from my red action button in the bottom right. Next, I'd like to talk about scoring a match. Say we have a match coming up on the 13th, and I click on that match from my home screen. From here, I'll be brought to that matches page, where if it's the day of the match, I'll be able to update each of the scores for the shooters that are present. If you have handicaps, you'll already see those handicaps populated. Captains will have the ability to update their rosters on match night right from the match page. So if people come that are new, it's very easy to just add them right from that screen. Optionally, the captain of each team can update both teams' rosters so that you don't have to have two people on a computer on match night. Let's go ahead and score this match. I won't go through both teams, but I think you get the point. In that time, you observed me entering the scores for my team, as well as the visiting team during the match. You also saw me use the quick search bar to search for folks, and this is particularly useful for teams with long rosters. After I've entered in the scores for both teams, I then have to calculate the results. Both captains have to sign off on the match, and then the match can be locked, which means that the scores can no longer be edited. So let's go ahead and click the Calculate Results button. Bullseye Tracker automatically identifies the top 4 scores of the match for each team, and 4 is obviously a number that's defined by your league, and tallies those scores across both teams to automatically determine a winner. Once both captains agree on the outcome of the match, they have the ability to sign off on that match. Now, signing can be done with a mouse on a laptop or with your finger on a mobile device like an iPad or an iPhone or an Android device. Once both captains have signed on the match, they should lock that match so it can't be edited. you're presented with a warning message that says you won't be able to undo this until or without the assistance of a division or league officer. Once that match is locked, you'll see a locked icon, and now these scores contribute towards the team's ranking across the league. You'll also be able to see that PDF format. You can then download this PDF and email it to your team. If you have the appropriate privileges, you'll be able to unlock the match from the action button down here. If I go back to my home screen and navigate to the match that's happening on the 20th, you'll see how we can update this match. Note that because today isn't the 20th, the match is currently read-only. If I select Reschedule, I'll be presented with a form to fill in the new date and time of the match. Clicking Save will reschedule the match. We are not currently emailing the team's captains or team members about the change in date. You'll have to do that on your own. This is a feature that has been heavily requested and is on our roadmap. For leagues who use handicaps, when navigating to the league page, officers with the appropriate privileges will see an action button at the bottom where they can calculate the handicaps for their league. Clicking that will bring them to a 3-step process where they choose the details of the handicaps that they want to calculate, confirm who the handicaps will apply to, and then confirm the calculated handicaps as the tool has identified them. Clicking Submit in that 3rd step will commit those handicaps and will be used for future matches. On the 1st step, I'm able to select either all league shooters or new shooters only, which would be an off-cycle handicap calculation. You do this when, after the initial handicap calculation has occurred, a shooter joins the league and shoots the requisite minimum number of matches, but they need a handicap to move forward. If I select all league shooters and click Next, I'll be brought to a screen where I can confirm that the correct shooters have been selected. Here, we see that my team has selected all of the shooters. It shows my current score count as well as a current handicap. This current score count helps me identify that only the shooters with the minimum score count has been selected. I can confirm these details and be brought to the next step where the tool will list all of the shooters in the league in this division and their new handicaps next to their current handicap, as well as the effective date, which will be today. If all of these are correct, I can confirm that and then click Save to commit those changes to the tracker. Once I do that, all future matches in this cycle, in this handicap cycle, will use these handicaps for the shooters in your league. This process will need to be repeated for each division that uses handicaps. At the end of the season, officers will have the ability to lock that season. This means that no more changes can be made, and then end of season results are calculated, like the shooter's end of season average, the number of matches they shot, and any awards that have been configured into the tool. That's it. I hope this was informative. As always, if you have any questions, you can reach us by clicking on the contact page at the bottom, filling in your email address or name, and then providing any suggestions and questions here. I'll get back to you as soon as I can.